and the importance of public speaking, where there is a rebuttal from the other side. I think this is what is. This is content, but somewhere areas you will have to explain the concept. Emotions you are able to show, what kind of passion you are able to show. It is important that you are able to convey it to the assessors. See, verbal communication is only 7% of the overall communication that a human does. So one of the important things in communication is also about Hello my dear friends and my dear aspirants. See, today I have come again and with a new aspect and a very very important aspect that I will be covering today. So what I am going to speak on in this video would be about the importance of content in the whole SSB process and the importance of public speaking, communication skills, because unlike in the other exams which you have given in your life, which is all written exams, this happens to be a Viva exam. And all the knowledge and the preparation that you have done and whatever you have in mind, it is important that you are able to convey it to the assessors or to the other candidates who are in your group in a GTO or an interviewing officer in the interview. You are able to convey it correctly. And one of the important aspects is public speaking. See, what are the critical elements in public speaking that we look at and you should be concerned about in your preparation? So there are basically what I have identified are 4 major things. The first thing that you should be worried about obviously is your communication skills, which is the way you can communicate to the others by verbal and non-verbal way of communication. When I mean non-verbal, it means your body language, your manifestations, non-verbal manifestation, how do you behave, how do you interact, what kind of emotions you are able to show, what kind of passion you are able to show, because as per psychology, see, verbal communication is only 7% of the overall communication that a human does. Rest 93% is all non-verbal communications, and which plays a very important role in both your interview and your psychology. So communication skills, when I'm talking about your fluency, your grammar, your English, and your diction and your phonetics. So these are the aspects that you should keep in mind when you're working. So we don't want complete master in English people, but you should be able to convey it correctly. And in case of getting stuck, obviously the option is always available with you to speak in Hindi. So that the idea is to tell what you have in your mind and the feelings that you have, so that the assessors can understand. So these are the areas that you should work upon. With this framework, you should be able to attempt to convey your ideas, your views, your opinions, your knowledge to the other person. And as we all say, communication is not about you talking. It's also about the other person understanding to whom the target audience is there. So depending upon the target audience, you should be able to communicate with the others. Like for example, you will communicate differently with a child. You will communicate differently with your friends. You will communicate differently with your parents or your teachers or your boss. Communicating differently in a casual environment. You will be communicating in a different way in your formal environment. So one of the important things in communication is also about social intelligence. Are you aware as to which surrounding, what is the situation that you are faced with, and what kind of communication you have to do? So all these things have to be clear when you are conveying. For example, the way you communicate in an interview is a one-on-one interview. So there also you are public speaking, but the audience is one. Who's assessing you, who's senior to you, whose experience-wise is much more. So you are trying to tell him something. One of the areas where people are not clear is that they are trying to teach the other way. So my suggestion would, in the complete SSB, is please don't teach either the assessor and other candidates also. You are in the telling mode. You are conveying your ideas, your views. So when you see the other people as the same as you, then you are able to communicate it better. Okay, so these are the few things. See, for example, accent is an important aspect. Phonetics, the way you use the words, it should be understandable, because every person is coming from various parts of India, northeast, north, south, central India. So they have got an accent. Try to reduce the accent, or we all know you are coming from this side, but it should be understandable. So work on it. Grammar, tense, little bit work on that. See, all these things will become important, but the bottom line in this is whether the other person is able to understand what you are trying to say. The second aspect of public speaking is obviously the confidence level with which you can speak. So whether you can communicate correctly or not, your English is good or bad, whatever, it may be, it's a different aspect. But whenever you are speaking, you should have full confidence in yourself. So for that, there are two aspects which I would like you to go through in your own time. One is having self-belief in yourself and understanding your self-worth. So if you look down upon yourself, then you will not be able to bring about the confidence that we are looking at. And you should have belief in yourself. That's a very, very important aspect in having a self-confidence. That means you know that you have prepared, you have genuinely prepared, you are a genuine person, and whatever you are saying is from your heart. So once you do that, the confidence is automatically coming out in the forefront. And that is what the interviewing officer and the GTO would be looking at. The third aspect, which is very, very important in public speaking, is clarity of thought. What do you want to finally say and tell the target audience? It could be your group members in a group discussion or a group planning, or the way you convey your ideas in an outdoor task in the GTO, or when the rapid fire questions which you people talk about in the interview, what exactly is the question? Whether you are able to convey with clarity, okay, this is what is a question which is asked, and the answer is exactly like that. You are not verbose, you are not using too many words to express yourself. At the same time, you're not too short of one word answers or yes or no answers where you're not expressive enough. So you should be expressive so that he is able to understand what you're trying to say. So clarity of thought, especially when you have the knowledge, you are able to tell in the time. Say for example, current affairs. Let's take a case of an example. I will take of a current affairs is asked where all. There are three places where a current affairs could be asked. It could be in the interview where the interviewing officer is asking you, okay, tell me a couple of current affairs that you're tracking. Or current affairs could be used in one of the group discussions where you will have to tell about current affairs when you're talking for 20 minutes, where there is a rebuttal from the other side. You know, I think this is what is there, because it's a group discussion which is going on. So you can use your current affairs there. Or you can use your current affairs in a lecturate, which is 3 minutes. So different timings, different target audience, different desired results are required. Say for example, in an interview, you will require me to be able to talk on the current affairs for 1 minute. The precise 1 minute you are able to tell somebody what you know about the current affairs. Similarly, the same current affairs comes in lecturate, you should be able to talk on the same thing for 3 minutes. And if it's a group discussion where the same content is being used, from time to time you should have depth of knowledge, depth of content, logic, your understanding, your views, your opinions is very, very important. So you will have to talk in a different way to your counterparts. So that is how the clarity of thought. And finally, the fourth important thing is the content. So you should be having in-depth knowledge of two things. One is what is required out of you, and second thing, once you know what is required out of you, you work hard and put in the efforts to understand whatever is the issue that you have to discuss on. And that is what will become important, because again the target audience is there. The way you are discussing with your teammates or your group members in a discussion is different from when you are trying to explain to the interviewing officer or when you're talking in front of a group in the lecture. So these are the areas where you're talking. And similarly, this is content, but somewhere areas you will have to explain the concept. See, outdoor task there's a PGT or a half group task or a command task going on. You will have to give instructions or you have to give your ideas as to how to solve the problem of going ahead using the plank and the belly. So you should have the concept ready for you to explain it to the others so that they are convinced on what you're trying to say. So these are the 4 important aspects which you should work on whenever you are attempting in an SSB stage 2. The idea is to make you understand how important it is to talk. So there are these 2-3 concepts which I have tried to introduce. Think about it, work upon it, become an effective speaker for the SSB, which is a critical element. And with that, I'll end this video. Thank you very much for your listening till the end. Work on it. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.